me to tell you about my day today in my beautiful eclectic neighborhood here in Los Angeles, California. Lots of people from different places. It's certainly a melting pot, which I love. And there's a few really awesome homeless people that I get to know sometimes. There's a man here who has pigeons that he finds at different times, and he calls to them and they'll come to him, and sometimes when they're sick he'll help them. I've brought him a few pigeons. It's kind of great. And there's also a lady named Amy who I've met several times, and her girlfriend Andrea. Well, I met them both today, and they live in a tent, and sometimes they have these really interesting arguments. Don't we all? But these people are just so fun, and they were walking down the street holding on to each other and smiling, and I was sitting outside this cafe having my cherry coke and some soup, and I offered them to have some cherry coke, and I got them both cherry coke, and we sat and had a beautiful conversation. And I looked up, and there in the trees were all these discs, like CDs reflecting different colors of the rainbow, and it was so cool. And just took that small moment and it added to the big picture. And it's such a beautiful thing to do that, because you can have friendships with people even if they're for this much time here, and this much time there, and this much time there, and they just create this big thing that's life. Sometimes your friends live far away, like my best friend since my preteen years, who lives all the way back home in the UK. And we write back to each other, little ways, big ways, and we get to see each other when we can, but it's a beautiful friendship. It's an Indigo connection, and that, my friends, is magic. Let's reach out during this very hard time in life as friends, because friends, it's one of the most important things you can have in life. It's hard to keep up with people when you're adults. Yeah, that's right, I'm an adult. God help us all. Oh, sometimes you have a friend for this long, and like ships upon the ocean, they go somewhere else because they have to move away, or work, or just life in general. Just like books come back into our life. They are sent out by authors onto the sea, and then out of our lives, and sometimes back into our lives. And the messages in the bottles on the sea of those books that we get is always different, even though it's the same words. We can see and feel them in different ways. I think that's like that with friendship too. Different times in our life call for different things to happen, different emotions to come out. But we're connected, Stardust. We're connected. What are some of the things I'm going to do on the Indigo Connection? Well, I'm going to read stories to you from favorite books of mine. And these are the original Oz books. I can't wait to read these. They're so fun. It'll be like story time. My favorite is Ozma of Oz. My uncle used to call me Ozma because, I used to wear the big buns on the side and all of that jazz. And sometimes I learn from my own students all kinds of great things through art. I found that it is a great counselor, art. It is something where you can express and get things out that you've had bottled up, or ideas. But my favorite kind of expression is this beautiful sort of organic explosion of whatever's going to happen. And it does. I want to do some of that with you. I want to connect. And it'll be like story time. I'll be in my beautiful patchwork tent. with records playing on my record player, sound effects records, while we read together. Sometimes I'll do interviews with good friends who are far away, and sometimes in the same room. It's good to stay connected. Until next time, stay indigo. Don't you go change